They knew many of them would not survive. As the boats moved through the cold, dark waters of the English Channel, there was no cheering, no speeches, no music. Only the sound of engines, the crashing waves, and the quiet breathing of men who understood that in a few minutes history would demand everything they had, and more. These were not legends. They were American soldiers, and they were about to walk straight into hell. June 6, 1944, did not begin with glory. It began with fear. Real fear, the kind that tightens the chest and silences conversation. Young men sat shoulder to shoulder in landing craft, gripping rifles with shaking hands, some whispering prayers, others staring into nothing. Many had never seen combat. Many had never left the United States before the war. Yet they were about to storm the most heavily defended coastline on Earth. They knew the odds. They knew the beaches were covered by machine guns, artillery, and concrete bunkers. They knew the enemy had spent years preparing for this moment, and still, they came, because freedom demanded it. When the ramps dropped, the world exploded. Machine gun fire tore through the air. Mortar shells slammed into the sand and water. Men were cut down before they could take a single step forward. The ocean turned red. Equipment sank. Bodies fell. And yet, the soldiers kept moving, not because they felt brave, but because stopping meant death and advancing meant hope. This was Omaha Beach, and it was chaos beyond imagination. American soldiers crawled through sand soaked with blood, pinned down by relentless fire. Officers were killed, radios destroyed, plans collapsed within minutes. There was no clear command, no neat formation, only small groups of men making impossible decisions under impossible pressure. Privates became leaders. Leaders became martyrs. And courage was measured in seconds survived. Some men froze. Others ran forward, knowing they would not make it. Many were wounded and kept moving anyway. They dragged friends to cover. They charged bunkers with nothing but grenades and determination. They climbed cliffs under fire because there was no other way forward. Fear was everywhere, but it did not win. What made these men extraordinary was not the absence of fear. It was the refusal to surrender to it. Further along the coast, American paratroopers had already been dropped behind enemy lines hours earlier. Scattered, disoriented, and often alone, they fought in small units with no clear idea of where they were, only where they needed to go. They sabotaged bridges, disrupted enemy movements, and created confusion that saved countless lives on the beaches below. Many never regrouped, many never returned, but their mission succeeded. Leadership on D-Day did not always come from rank. It came from resolve, from men who stood up under fire and said, "Follow me," from soldiers who charged positions everyone else believed were impossible to take, from medics who ran toward gunfire, not away from it, knowing the next wounded man could be their last. Hour by hour, inch by inch, the Americans pushed forward. What had begun as near disaster slowly turned into a foothold. Bunkers were silenced, paths were cleared. The beach, once a killing ground, became a gateway. By the end of the day, despite horrific losses, the United States had done what many believed could not be done. They had broken Hitler's Atlantic Wall. But victory on D-Day was not measured in territory. It was measured in sacrifice. Thousands of Americans were killed, wounded, or missing. Entire units were nearly destroyed. Families back home would soon receive telegrams that would change their lives forever. There were no celebrations that night. Only exhaustion, grief, and the quiet understanding that the hardest fighting was still ahead. Yet the meaning of D-Day was already clear. Those men on the beaches of Normandy did not just fight for a military objective. They fought so Europe could breathe again, so nations could be freed from occupation, so the world would not be ruled by fear and tyranny. They fought, knowing they might never see the result of their sacrifice, and they fought anyway. When historians say D-Day turned the war, they are not talking about maps or timelines. They are talking about those men, the Americans who stepped off those boats, knowing that history would remember the day, but might never remember their names. They walked into hell so the world could be free. And because of them, it was.